This is a video-rich snapshot of my professional life. It reflects the attitude I've had towards collaborating with others for the mutual benefit of all. I hope you enjoy it and that I can be of service to you now or in the future. It's all about creativity in technology, engineering, art, maths and science. During this presentation, I'll share the highs, the not so highs, and also, most importantly, the progress made through collaboration, not just in the UK, but overseas too. I've got a question for you, and that is, where do creative subjects fit within what we currently understand as STEM? And are marginalised subjects such as my own set to impact in a more collaborative teaching and learning future framework? The future is very bright. I think that sometimes the media and even those who promote STEM see it as maths and science driven. This impacts on children and adults alike. In this example, we can see printed that technology and engineering are very small in comparison to the maths and science, even in my own professional organisations. Balanced, rational and strategic. That's what I'm always going to be. In this article, we're talking about not recruiting enough D&T teachers unless students take, for example, triple science without even a mention of design and technology. I do know something though, and that is this. It all comes down to nurturing creativity. We've all seen the child who excels in something at school. Sometimes that creative element has already started to flourish long before you taught them, but you recognise and nurture their creativity in music, art, drama, design and technology, for example. The sooner we start with a child, the further they will go, I am sure, and I too believe. I've seen enough evidence to prove it true. I'm here today to talk to you about further collaboration. You and I, we've done great things together. That's why we're all stood here today. Design and technologists, scientists, engineers, mathematicians and lots of wonderful people pushing the frontiers forward, further and faster. Colleagues, join with me and let's celebrate that success over the next 25 minutes. I'm very fortunate that I did have a series of resources that were far more popular in Russia than in the UK. There's nothing better than walking into a school and seeing your work in use. And I was given the chance to tour a large number of schools, colleges and universities. I learned that they were driven by wanting to learn more about the English education system, and especially that of CAD/CAM. Whilst there, I saw true hardship and wealth and preparation for varied local industrial needs, and also a strong determined patriotism that manifested itself in education every step of the way. I learned that where industry required labour, it was provided for. Where local industry was lace, I witnessed fine work. Others spent many hours carving the most beautiful of wooden panels. Those who worked collaboratively in technology, problem solving, had a very different approach to their work, and I recognised here a mindset akin to my own. And hence I worked with my Russian colleagues for nearly 20 years, until very recently, where my own professional life took another turn, and to my regret, I had to leave some of that work behind. It was very, very cold, at up to -40 at times, and I was prepared in something nothing less than you could call a Mac. As I trained, I was ready for the Great Education Reform Bill. We were told that design and technology was going to be intrinsic within the core subjects. It was important. How times have changed. I'm here today at Technology Supplies in Shropshire to talk to a man called Martin Edwards.
I'm Martin Edwards. I've been working in design and technology education for the whole of my working life. At the moment, STEM is, I perceive it as a add-on, a bolt-on to the current design and technology curriculum and art curriculum, often being delivered outside normal school hours, often as project-based activities. Up to now, the workshops over the last 10-15 years that we've been supplying and putting into schools are not what's going to be needed in the future. The curriculum, we cannot see as far forward now. For the next 20 years, I think the main influences and outside influences, the technology, the way it's moving forward very quickly, we are going to have to deliver very flexible workspaces. In the more advanced countries around the world where we work, there is a push now, almost a rebranding of the workshops. They're becoming called robotics labs, innovation centres, maker spaces. And although if you walk into one you may see some familiar equipment, etc., the activities that are going on there are probably less practical, less creative. I think in the future, the skills, you're still going to need all the skills, all the traditional skills and the advanced skills, the programming, the designing, the 3D CAD work, etc. Still going to need all those skills.
Well, we've learned that we are going to need those skills in collaboration with other subjects, not just managing, but flourishing. Can design and technology actually be the driving force in schools? Let's look at an example in other schools where this is happening.
I'm Zoe Brunt, Head of Product Design and the STEM lead at the Priory School in Shrewsbury. All aspects of STEM run through everything the pupils do in design and technology at the Priory School. Design and technology ties together the STEM subjects, allowing students to see the work they do in science, maths in a real-life context. All of our projects are aimed to stretch pupils' creativity and ability to problem solve. Pure maths is used to solve real-life situations, looking at forces, hydraulics and decision maths. Pupils are working with Lego robotics to overcome challenges on a map. We use STEM ambassadors at every event so pupils have access to the knowledge, skills and understanding of those in the field who live and breathe STEM every day.
My name is Dr. Ashley Green. I've been a STEM ambassador for over a decade now. I've been coming to the Priory School for about 6 years. I helped set up the After School STEM Club here. We've done a lot with the Lego Mindstorms and more recently First Lego League, and a number of other activities, including a model railway outside and go-kart. And today we've been looking at virtual reality images of the International Space Station and of animals in the jungle.
Oh, there's spacesuits. That's where I was, I think. There's some stuff. I look like an idiot, don't I? No. There's a person there.
I also go into other schools, including Madeley Academy in Telford, doing activities with students related to my background in renewable energy sources and robotics.
It's good to celebrate what I like to call working in teams. Let us look now at a project using technology, engineering, art, maths and science in the design and manufacture of chocolate lollipops. In this project, students have been using Arcam Pro to make chocolate moulds. Arcam Pro is over £12,000 per copy. We've got it here at Madeley Academy. It's no accident, but it's used for Royal Mint to make the coins in your pocket. Students have designed a lollipop, a chocolate lollipop, in the shape of their face. And today, they've been vacuum forming the polyurethane thermoset moulds with food-grade PVC and pouring in hot molten chocolate into the mould, taking it down into the kitchens and the restaurants and actually taking it home and eating it later. So it's been a great day all around. Getting industry into your school is fundamental to promote careers and provide an insight as to what industry is looking for. Set those aspirational values, and here are 3 ways in which this can be done.
STEM is continually evolving here at our academy and is an integral part of our students' education. Just before Christmas, the RAF visited the academy and worked with our Year 9 most able students. They helped our students design and build huge gliders and completed a competition at the end of the day to test these gliders. Students found this extremely enjoyable and got them really interested in possible careers within the RAF.
Today our Year 9s are taking part in their STEM event with the RAF Cosford. They're having an incredible time making 2-metre gliders that soon they're going to go outside and fly.
Recently, within the Academy, I've set up our own STEM club. Teachers from Science, Technology and Maths are working with our students towards the Perkins Challenge. This is where they're designing and building their own tennis ball launcher. Our students have been invited to Perkins themselves in the next couple of months to go and look at the factory and to look at possible careers and apprenticeships within them.
So my name's Mark Stones. I'm the Training and Apprentice Coordinator for Perkins Engines in Stafford. Part of our corporate social responsibility programme from corporate level. Each year we run a schools into competition and we call it the Tennis Ball Launcher Challenge. And that's really going out into all local schools, or as many schools as we can reach. Setting a challenge, basically design a tennis ball launcher. We call it a launcher, but it can be anything. The schools are then invited into a grand fire-off day at Perkins Engines in Stafford. Compete against each other, and then they all lose against the Perkins apprentices. Okay, it ticks a huge box for us, because very selfishly we wish to hopefully inspire young adults to at least consider engineering as a career path going forward.
I'm here today with the BAE Systems Roadshow. They've come to talk to all our Year 7 and Year 8 students at Madeley Academy, as they do every year. This year's no different. This year's performance has been absolutely fantastic. I'm joined today by Johnny, Emma and Laura. I'm going to ask them some questions about the BAE Systems Roadshow today.
What we're trying to achieve is to inspire young people, anywhere from kind of the ages of 8, 9, up to 12, 13, in trying to get them to think differently about science, technology, engineering and maths. Primarily about changing that culture of thinking about academics, where with a lot of young people, can sometimes be a bit of cynicism around the academic subjects, and that's what we're trying to do, is change that thinking, to make people that are good at science or people that are enthusiastic about science and technology, they are the cool kids, you know, not the other way around.
And how was your audience today?
Fantastic, yeah. It's always good. It's nice to return here again this year, and you have got some really nice, bright, enthusiastic students. Don't mind getting involved, but we're also very respectful, so it's pretty much the perfect balance when we visit you here.
Johnny, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to ask Emma a question now. Emma, can you tell me, who is it you're trying to attract into science, technology, engineering and maths?
Well, everyone really. Our main aim is mainly the drive for the females as well. The balance between males and females just isn't good enough right now, so we have that extra push to try and get the girls involved.
Thank you very much. And Laura, you've been up and down the country trying lots of different exciting experiments like we've seen today. What's your favourite?
Oh, that's a tough one, but I do love the fibre optics because they're very bright, they're very colourful, the kids always love them. But I also love our kind of laser experiment. But we demonstrate specular and diffuse reflection. So we use our laser, we use the smoke machine to kind of get that all, you know, the Mission Impossible sort of look. And we demonstrate the different types of reflection with that as well. So it's, the kids, again, it's always a big woo, you know, when we do that one. So it's a very interesting one. I do like that one. Yeah.
Thank you very much. You know, I like the ones where you actually get the teachers up to the front, because there's nothing like a bit of humiliation. This is the end of the BAE Systems Roadshow today. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next year.
Today we had a presentation from the BAE system, and they talked about all the opportunities for young men and women to join the Royal Air Force and the Royal Navy. It was really enjoyable, and we all had a good time. We learned about how if you put smoke through a laser then you could actually see it. The most enjoyable part was if you shine a laser at water, instead of going through it, it follows the water's path. Thank you for coming in and giving us a wonderful presentation. We all enjoyed it.
Why not set up an inter-school competition to see who the best is? There's no better way to share ideas and collaborate with like-minded colleagues on a different level altogether.
And for this week's Curriculum Focus, we go to the STEM Inter-Academies competition.
4 boys and 4 girls representing each school competed against one another in a series of 4 challenging tasks. The first was a murder mystery forensic science activity. Despite their apparent lack of organisation, the Walsall boys won the event with good practical outcomes and clear analysis of the data. The second task was a series of critical thinking maths challenges. A really fun event thanks to Mr Edelman and Mr Moore providing the use of Joker and Ace cards. These were played to perfection by the Walsall girls, allowing them to steal the win from the Telford boys in the last couple of minutes of the challenge. After lunch, things started to swing in the direction of the visiting schools. The students from Madeley developed some fantastic designs for the engineering challenge. They also showed great general knowledge in the quiz at the end of the day. Both of these events helped Madeley to take first and second place. It was a fantastic day. Our students acquitted themselves well, and I look forward to getting some teams together next year to win the shield back.
It's never too early to nurture all of that creativity in a child. I always like to think that the skills developed by the children will meet the needs of industry and society in equal measure.
Good afternoon, Madeley Academy, in my fantastic Year 7 class. They are making tubes using Pritt and paper. With those tubes, they have got to build a ping-pong wonky tower, which takes the ping-pong ball that I have in my hand as high and as far away from the middle as they can. Winning teams get prizes, because points win prizes. Okay!
The idea is to get the ping pong towers as high as possible. And the furthest longest possible.
Today what we're going to see is Year 7 students building, with assistance, cars that run with solar power. Now part of it they have to work out how to make the car go straight, and if the car's going backwards, how to reverse the motor, swap the wires over and make it go forward.
We found out that when we put our car down, it was going backwards. So we changed these wires over and now it's going forwards.
I'm happy to share with you that technology, engineering, art, maths and science is a very natural part of teaching. Let us look at 3 projects where sixth form students have used this strategy in their very successful projects at A level. Want to take this opportunity to share with you some of the scientific principles behind some of the work that we do at sixth form level in product design. Let's look first of all, here's some scrapped handlebars, and the surface coat on here is electrostatically painted. So using powder coating techniques, we then put it into an oven and it puts on a beautiful hard-wearing surface onto this, just to help show it off. Now this design is only a prototype at the moment, but I'm going to share with you certain parts of it to show how quantum tunneling composite material has been applied to design and technology activity. So the creative elements are underpinned by the scientific principles behind this material, this smart material. Now inside this 3D printed chassis is a series of QTC pills, quantum tunneling composite pills. And the harder you squeeze, the brighter this light becomes here at the end of the handlebars. So what's the idea behind the project? The student knew that there was a problem riding his bike at night. He wanted to share with drivers behind how he needs to be seen and show them how he's braking harder or less hard. It's been printed on a 3D printer, and you've already seen the 3D printer in action. And this lid comes off to reveal a simple button cell underneath. And of course, there's one on either side of this unit here. But it just goes to show you that students in product design and technology can create incredibly powerful projects that may well form part of our future, underpinned by science. Now we'll look at the work of two very different students who successfully used technology, engineering, art, maths and science subjects in their pursuit of a high-tech solution to two completely opposing problems.
Hello, my name is Sam Bentley. I'm an A-level product design student at Maley Academy. Using compressed air, I learned I could make teaching aids or resources for kinesthetic learners. The technology behind my project is so teachers have the resource and the outcome to 3D print their own aircraft, plane and rocket models. This guarantees that teachers can print their own high-quality product consistently and use it time and time again. The most complex part of my project was engineering the joints so that my model would snap together. This means that all models could be taken apart and snapped together to make new models. The artistic influence for my project came from my hobby as a photographer with aircraft, as well as my day trips to Cosford Air Shows and the Cosford Museum. The maths in my project were the measurements and the tolerances for each part of the materials. This may include the ISOD and the flexural test, which I also had to craft. The science behind my project was how to use physics to move a car, a rocket and a plane through empty space.
And from 3D printing to electronics and laser cutting. The second project relied on a student learning new skills that he did not have previously, but when pressed with the demanding situation, we were able to draw on expertise to ensure a high quality solution to a real world need. Welcome to this week's Curriculum Focus. I'm stood here with Alex Dzinski, who's currently doing a 6-1 product design. At the beginning of the year, he was given the task of designing a boot dryer. So what we've got here, he's got to hold the boot, we've got a solar cell, we've got a fan, we've got some batteries, we've got a circuit, and we've also got a cast metal base so that the job can resist impact. And that dark layer there is timber, and the timber's there to do what?
To absorb the shock.
To absorb shocks. So this actually dries out a boot completely from start to finish over a period of around 10 to 12 hours overnight. Now, if you leave it outside, it'll continue to charge. If you haven't got the opportunity to put it outside, all you do is you press the button, it starts the fan, and then that will continue until the boot's dry. Of course, he hasn't made one of those for just 1 foot. He's actually got 2 boots and he's made 2 of them as well. Brilliant product, A-grade material. Well done, Alex.
Hey, have you got a sweaty boot? Because we've got the solution.
I was blessed to teach the next industrialist from the age 11 to 18, and purely by chance bumped into him on my trip to Moscow. It was the strangest coincidence. He's a big player globally, and we should listen to what he wants from his employees. I think that we are developing students for the needs of the future.
Hi, I'm David Bradley, and I'm currently the Sales Director of Magnetic MRO. We're a European-based base maintenance organisation, and we manage the repairs for airlines such as Finnair, Scandinavian Airlines, Thomas Cook, Air Baltic and EasyJet. Design and technology plays an important role in my day-to-day work, whether it be fault finding on the aircraft, developing new and state-of-the-art repair solutions. In particular, a new area of technology now breaking into the aviation industry is 3D printing. Having studied D&T at secondary school level, it gave me the foundation to go on and study a design and engineering based degree at Warwick University. Without the design and technology beginning, I believe I wouldn't be where I am today. The idea of teams, when it was introduced to me, was very exciting. We currently lack and have a shortage of engineers in our industry, and by encouraging teams at both secondary school level and primary school level, it will hopefully increase the number of students going on to study an engineering based degree at university. I'm keen to support this topic, especially now being on the side of the industry and the employer. I find it so difficult to attract and recruit people to work for me. There's a real lack of interest in the UK in engineering based jobs, and most of the people we recruit are non-UK based. I believe this lack of interest has come from the college, secondary school level, and has to have more input from the industry. We as the industry need to get involved with these kids. We need to help them get excited and become passionate about engineering. It's not a boring profession, it's cutting edge, and it's not all about getting your hands dirty. And to be fair, it pays pretty well.
Colleagues, I thought the last comment was very telling indeed. And with all his experience, I'm sure it does pay pretty well too. But isn't that one of the aims? Let's give children the opportunity to explore, create, produce, succeed and collaborate in teams, driven by you and me. In return, he or she will contribute back to society far more than the initial investment. Progress shall be our measure of success. Only time will tell if I'm right. Colleagues, finally, I very much hope that you enjoyed this presentation. Please speak with me if I can be of further service to you in the future. It's always a pleasure to meet with your acquaintance. Let's link up on LinkedIn or on Facebook. Thank you for your time today, and I'm glad you've had a great conference.